Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you'll see this. Welcome to Get Up Right Morning Drive Devotion. I want to talk to you for a very few minutes about something that's really deep rooted in my heart to share, and that is this. If you are attending, if you are a member of a church, and you don't have any respect for that leader, let me just say this to you. Your salvation, you getting to heaven, ought to be so important to you that you get up out that church. Because what happens is we allow just mean spirits to get in us. And check this out. We'll go to a church. We won't respect the pastor. We don't like them. We will obey only what he or she teaches that feels good and that's comfortable to us and that does not stretch us and does not convict us. But we won't honor them or obey them. And I know some of y'all got a problem with that obey word. He did say obey them that have the rule over you. And I know that's another word that probably scares you, is rule or ruler. A very large number of pastors and leaders, I'm going on a limb, a very large number of pastors and leaders in this 21st century, trust me, they're not leading with no iron hands and trying to make life difficult for folk. The truth be told, there aren't that many people coming back to church anyhow. So it wouldn't behoove us to be, tripping in that aspect. But what I want to share with you again is don't stay around no church. Don't hang at no church where you can't obey, honor, and love on the pastor. There is some scripture, and I'm going to give it to you in a very urban way. It says that God, okay, I'm going to say it this way. God saw the need for you to have a shepherd because he knew that if you didn't have someone to assist you in this walk, you could very well walk off a cliff, because sheep are not very smart and they need guidance. Now, am I calling you dumb? No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm saying we all need someone to assist us in this walk. I too have a pastor that I have to give an account to. I too am under leadership. And the reason I need someone to help to lead me so I can be a better pastor and a better person to lead you. So I am about over it when I keep hearing people who don't like their pastor and don't respect their pastor, but you go to the church every week. That don't make good sense to me. You don't have nothing better to do with your time. That you're going to go to the church every Sunday, sit up under a pastor that you can't respect and you don't like. If you sit up in the church and you do that kind of foolishness, that tells me that your salvation don't mean nothing to you. Because God said these words. As far as the pastor, he says, look here. You can't get them with no iron fist. But he does wish that we would rule, honor, lead, nurture well. But he also said, look here, partner, woe unto you if you scatter my flock. I told y'all that a couple of days ago. And I'm going to say this again to you. Get your books, get your Bibles. Even if you're a key carrier at the church and you don't respect and honor that pastor and that leader, get the keys back, get your books, and get your hind part out of there. Simple as that. Will that hurt that ministry? Even if you're a good tither, a lead tither, or whatever the case, yeah, you might cause a little bit of tension, a little readjustments. But let me tell you the truth of the matter is, God says, I will add to the church as I see fit. Nothing makes me cry out to God more than when we don't have anybody joining the church. Even in this post-pandemic, nothing makes me cry out to him more. God, look here. You say, as you see fit, Lord, what am I doing as the pastor of this church that would cause me not to be, or cause this house not to be fit? What is it that I can do? What area can I tune up in? What area do I need to even revisit or visit? What subject matter that I need to deal with? So, your salvation should mean so much to you. I ain't sticking around. Like the choir, like the ushers, greeters, security, parking lot folk, like them a lot, love them even probably. But I ain't got no use for this pastor. Get yourself up out of that church now. Now, just get out and go someplace. Bishop Tyrone Lee Seals taught me something by saying these words. He says, sometimes we have to tell people, you know what? You may want to go to a church that's more conducive to your needs. That's been many years ago. And nothing breaks my heart more than people in a church who cause ruckus in the church. And you think you're doing God a favor by making life difficult for the preacher. And I know y'all probably ain't gonna believe this, but I'm gonna tell you this. The worst thing you can do is have a preacher have to go to God about you. Especially when he or she is trying to do the best they can. And y'all can say what you want to. Nobody that I know can walk on water other than Peter. Okay? So we mess up. We make bad decisions. We do a lot of stuff, and 90% of my boo-boos in church. 90% of my boo-boos in church have been because I wanted to please people. I should have pulled the trigger on some stuff that during my pastorate. I should have pulled the trigger on it. Some stuff days after it happened. Some things the minute it happened. But I didn't want to offend the people. I didn't want the people to get upset. I didn't want the people to be mad at me. I didn't want them to start having little pockets after church where they would, be over there talking about me. I didn't want, and had I pulled the trigger on some of the foolishness that I allowed to come into the church that I allowed to get into my life, if I would have pulled the trigger on it sooner rather than later, I think that it would have been a much better result. But no, I tried my best to please the people. Please God. You'll never please the people. You will never make all them folk that look upside your head happy. Some of them will be so angry even with the flow of service. You got us out too late, got us out too fast, you was rushing the service. The list goes on. It goes on and on. But remember what I started out by saying. Your salvation should be so imperative, it should be such of great importance to you that you would not sit up under under a pastor that you don't respect and you can't honor and hold in high esteem. You hold animosity. Well, my wife reminded me of this, about that forgiveness and that unforgiveness thing. God said it like this. He said, look here. You walking in unforgiveness. Let me tell you how I deal with that. I being God. He says, look, if you don't forgive your brother, I ain't going to forgive you. Man, come on, God. I want to reciprocate the disrespect and the nastiness and the foolishness that has been displayed towards me at some point. You can't do it. I said, okay, cool. How are we going to handle that? He said, okay, I'll tell you what I do. Remember, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Vengeance is mine. I had a cookie, y'all, and it feels like something's in my tooth. Oh, I don't know. Back it up, Jackie. God said that, listen, he said, let me tell you how we're going to handle that. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So we can't do tit for tat. I did a sermon on that one time, tit for tat. We can't play tit for tat. We can't do it. Much as we want to, we can't do it. Much as we might even be in a position to have all the rights and to do it, we can't do it. We can't do that. We just can't. So, as I'm sitting here in this quiet place, I just want to express the importance of us being Christ-like, even when people are treating us like they don't even know the Lord. They don't want to be there. T.D. Jakes said it this way. Quit crying over the folk who leave you. You need to be more concerned with the ones that you want to leave that won't leave. I said, oh my man. I could tell y'all some stories about some people who opposed to leaving. They would rather stay there and just try to see you suffer through he say, she say. And then watch this. Here's another piece that they do pretty regular. Rehashing old stuff. Continue to rehash up old stuff. Well, you remember he did this. You remember this happened. You remember that happened. You remember they went over there. Man, well, you get somewhere. Get somewhere. But they keep rehashing it. Okay, God, I heard that. And not only when they rehash it, they always rehash it with the same audience. Because those who really love you, they're not sitting listening to that mess. They're not. They don't want no parts of it. But the messy crowd, they'll be sitting there listening and rehash that mess and be talking about it like it's brand new news. So pastors, church leaders, husbands, wives, sons and or daughters, let me just drop this. If you can endure the foolishness and the hurtful things that are said about you, if you can endure it for 2 weeks, you'll be all right. Because news is only news for 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, it's old news. Now, I'm sitting out here opposed to driving, and it's cold, but I just wanted to do something different today, get in a different atmosphere, in a different climate. And following this video, back up down. Following this morning's devotional, you're going to see just a little bit clippet of where I am and what I'm enjoying and the cool way I can endure for the fact of the beautiful scenery. Again, you're getting ready to hear it again. Get out the house. Your family wants to spend some quality time with you. Do that. You won't know until you do it how much you've blessed your family by spending some quality time with them. All right? I'm out here. Peace. Have a great day, all right? We chose to get out today and see the country. See portions of Las Vegas. And believe it or not, y'all, there's some absolutely beautiful places here. See that? That's absolutely beautiful.